welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm bringing you round 8 of my TBR game rotating decks, where I have Uno cards help me pick my prompts to create my monthly TBR. So it is round 8. I have zhuzhed up a little bit for this season. I'm super excited for spooky season. I'm ready to get into all of the Halloween type reads and some scary stories. And so yeah, before we get into the gameplay for this month, let me tell you how I've done on my reading for last month. So I had a skip card at the beginning of the TBR game last month, so I only had to read 2 things plus my Book One Cozies Club selection, which was A Caterer's Guide to Love and Murder, the first book in the Caterer's Guide to Crime Mystery series by Jessica Thompson. I have read that one, and there is also 2 types of review videos on my channel for this one. There's a playlist of chapter by chapter videos, which are my spoilery candid thoughts while I was reading through the book, and then there is my series first impressions video, which has my general unspoilery thoughts on that. So the other 2 cards I pulled, and I don't remember which order these were in, but the first one was Blast from the Past, which basically meant that I had to read something that was from like my childhood or my teen years, some author that I enjoyed then, or maybe reread a book that I remember enjoying then. So for that one, I had decided on Christopher Pike's The Lost Mind. This is my BookTube Spin 3 selection, and I am about here. So I am about 63 pages in, which is fine because as of the day I am filming this, it is the 24th of September, so I do have roughly 6 more days to read this. And for my TBR game, I have to at least read 100 pages or DNF by the end of the month in order for me not to have to pull a punishment. So considering I don't have that many more pages to go in this one, I'm going to consider this one a success. And then the next thing that I was supposed to read was Inuyasha, 3+ volumes, or an omnibus, because the omnibus do have 3 volumes in them. And I have made an executive decision on this one. So when I created my TBR game, I put about 4 of these really long series in the deck. Actually, I think there's 5, because one of them is in the punishment deck. But I had done that because I wanted to get a move on some of these really long series that I had in my collection that are complete, that I have the whole thing, but I've just never read through them yet. So obviously, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been working my way through Bleach, which is a 72 volume series, I believe. And I have been doing a read a watch along with my daughter. That started because I had pulled Bleach as one of my rotating decks prompts a few months ago. I can't remember exactly which month it was, but it completely escaped my mind that I had other series that were that long roughly in the other decks. And so when this one came up, I was like, do I really want to start another really long series in conjunction with Bleach? Plus the fact that I really want to do a read watch along on this as well, because we have been collecting the Blu-ray editions. So we already have the DVD editions of this anime, and we've been collecting the Blu-ray editions of both Bleach and Inuyasha. And so I want to do a read a watch along with my daughter on this one as well. So I made the executive decision to change this to an omnibus of Bleach. So that's what I decided to do. So this is the next omnibus of Bleach, which is omnibus number 5. I have not yet read this, but like I said, it is the 24th. I have several more days. There are 3 volumes in this. I don't believe there's going to be an issue. So I'm going to say that I'm not going to be pulling a punishment prompt for October. which is great because there are 2 readathons that I want to participate in the month of October. The first one is a month-long readathon, which is the Trick or Treatathon, and that is being hosted by, let me take a look, Occasional Reader. I will have the announcement video linked down in the description box below. And so I will be having a separate TBR video come out with the books that I'm planning to read for that. And then about midway in October, the 15th through the 18th, I am co-hosting a 24-hour haunted manga readathon with Justy's Cave and Tony's Manga. Links again down in the description box below. But we're basically planning to read all the Halloween vibey manga during that weekend. It's a little bit over a weekend, but with the goal of reading for 24 hours total over those 4 days. So I will have another TBR video for all of those reads somewhere probably a week before that readathon happens. So that's 2 other TBR videos that I will be posting during the month. There may also be a third other TBR video if I get my character creation TBR done for the magical readathon. Now, I didn't talk about the magical readathon in my last TBR video because I had thought that it was much more involved than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think I was going to be able to fit that many reads in my monthly log for all of that, plus do the Full Metal Challenge, plus my Rotating Decks TBR game. So I was going to opt out of that one. However, I had realized about a week or 2 into September that we only had to read 2 books to fulfill the first part of that readathon. So I have done that, and so I'm good to go for my character creation prompts. So you may be seeing a character creation TBR video for my magical readathon plans coming up sometime soon as well. But that's pretty much enough chit chat. So as per usual, I'm going to pull 3 cards for the month. Plus I will have my Book One Cozies Club selection and my Monochrome Manga Club selections to read during the month. So let me turn you around, we'll do some gameplay, and then I'll be back with you after to share with you what books I have chosen for those prompts. Okay, so here we are and the setup for the 7th round of rotating decks. As you can see, we are still using the Tokyo 2020 Olympics deck, and as per usual, I have already shuffled the deck, but I will have my daughter cut the deck so that you know that I don't know what is on the top of this deck. Okay, the deck has been cut, so our first card is a skip card. My daughter must love me very much because I've been getting skip cards for the first pull for several months in a row now. I am not complaining, but this is a good start to our game. Our second pull will be a red 3. And the prompt is two books from the same author. So I technically didn't get a skip. So I have to read 2 books by the same author. And our final prompt is a reverse card. So that means I need to redraw the second pull. So instead of that 1 red card, I will pick right off the top here on blue because that is the color of the card. And our prompt is has an adaptation. That actually works really well for a readathon that I'm planning on participating in. And so that is great. So I'm going to pull again for our last prompt, which is a blue 6. Notice there still hasn't been any yellows. This is 7 months now, and we have not had any yellow prompts. And the prompt is BookTube recommendation. So that just means that I need to find somebody on BookTube who is recommending a book and read that book for this prompt. So that will do it for this round of rotating decks. We didn't have any yellow prompts. We're not switching out the deck yet, which I am perfectly fine with. But let me go grab books for these prompts and I'll be right back. So it was another round of exciting gameplay. Started off on a skip again. I feel very, very lucky that my daughter has cut the deck so well the last few times, because I've been getting a skip at the beginning of the game quite a lot. I'm hoping I didn't jinx myself, but I am super glad again that I got that skip card, because like I said, I've got a lot of reads planned for the month of October. So then we got a prompt which was null and void anyway, because it ended up that we got a reverse card next. So the reverse card brought me has an adaptation. So let me see. There we go. You should be able to see that. So has an adaptation, which is great, because has an adaptation is one part of the prompt for the Trick-or-Treatathon that I need to complete. So for the Trick-or-Treatathon, the prompt is actually read a book that has an adaptation and watch the adaptation. So that's what I will be doing. And so for that, you know what I'm going to show you right now? It's going to be Bleach Omnibus 6. So this is one of my favorite characters here. It's Hitsugaya. And so I will be reading this omnibus and then watching the episodes that go along with this omnibus to complete that prompt and this one. So that is the first thing that I will be reading in the month of October. Or actually, I don't actually read per the prompts in the order of the prompts. I just pick up whatever I feel like, because I feel like that helps me with my mood reading want, because I'm a big mood reader. So yeah, I will be reading and watching that sometime during the month of October. And then the next prompt, or the last prompt that I got, was BookTube recommendation. So for this prompt, I decided to go on to BookTube and look for a recommendations video that was recommending spooky books, because I really want to be reading some spooky books in October. It's something that I try not to save for the month of October. I try to read spooky books all year round, because that's just a thing that I like to do. Plus, you know, October only has so many days. So I looked for a spooky book rec video. I found one from Katrina Brown. She had a spooky book recommendations video posted within the last couple weeks. I will link it down in the description box below in case you're interested in checking out some of her recs as well, because she does go through a variety of recs from younger reader types to more spookier types. But there was a book that she had recommended in her video that was one that had crossed my radar very recently, that I was very interested in reading, and that book is Paradise Club by Tim Meyer. This I will be reading off of Kindle Unlimited, so that's great too, because I really want to be using my Kindle Unlimited subscription more. But from what I understand, this is set on like the idyllic island paradise vacation spot, except something equivalent to the Purge happens there. So lots of serial killers and things like that, or people like that, go after the vacationers, and then the vacationers kind of have to kill other people to save themselves, type of deal. That's pretty much all I know about it, and it sounded really interesting. The Purge is not a movie that I would watch, but the concept is interesting to me, and so I'm looking forward to reading this one in the month of October. So then I have my Book One Cozies Club selection for the month, and that is going to be Candy Coated Murder, the first book in the Pumpkin Hollow Mystery Series by Kathleen Suzette. This is also part of Kindle Unlimited, and so we will be reading that one for the month of October. I will have a chapter by chapter, as always, where I break down the book in sections and then give my candid, spoilery thoughts as I read through those chapters. And then afterwards, I will have a series first impressions video, which will just be my general, unspoilery thoughts on that one. That one is a shorter selection. It's probably the shortest one that Book One Cozies Club has ever had, but I was very intrigued by this one because the series revolves or occurs in a town that is like Halloween all year round, and so I thought that concept was really interesting. And I guess the main character comes home after being away for like 10 years or so, and pretty much everybody hates her, and then her neighbor gets murdered. So that I am looking forward to quite a bit. Then for my Monochrome Manga Club, which is basically my in real life manga club where I have an in real life meeting and we talk about manga selections, we are reading Volume 1 of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun by Aida Ito. And this is a manga series that takes inspiration from an urban legend called Hanako. So like at the top here it says Hanako-san. Hanako-san, are you there? Kind of like Bloody Mary, but not really. So I am looking forward to this one because it does involve a spirit and gives that haunted vibes, haunted bathroom, and things like that. That one was not one that I had been interested in before, but I had recently heard somebody talk about it rather favorably, so I decided that we would read it for our manga club. And then we will be reading Volume 1 of Servant by Strike Tanaka. This one is a story about a guy who just likes to have things simple. He comes across a cat and decides to take the cat home. Cat turns out not to be a cat, but a vampire, and then his life gets complicated. And I have already seen the anime for this, but it is an ongoing manga series still. These volumes come out super slow, so it is not done yet. But it is an anime that I really enjoyed. I'm looking forward to visiting that story from the source material. So those are the two selections that we will be reading for our manga club, as well as continuing our series read of Parasite. So we will be reading volumes 3 and 4 of Parasite by Hitoshi Iwaaki, I believe is the mangaka's name. So I do have those digitally through a Humble Bundle, and so I will also be reading those for our manga club meeting towards the end of October. So that pretty much wraps up this video. Let me know down in the comments below if you will be participating in any readathons in the month of October, or if you have read any of these books that I have lined up in this video. Let me know your thoughts on them down in the comments below, but please, no spoilers. If you have nothing else to say but would just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a jack-o'-lantern emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye!